Stampers, this is Trevis. Thanks for watching today for Video Tuesday. And so today we are going to be doing some heat embossing. This card I am calling an embossed panel card. I don't know what to call it, except that it's a very cool technique. So let me ask you a question. Do you still have your Stamparatus? If you do, you will use it for this card. If you don't, you won't be able to purchase one from Stampin' Up. Okay, because they're discontinued. But that wasn't Stampin' Up's choice. They were unfortunately required to discontinue it. So I don't want to go into that. You probably don't know the story. So anyway, today I'm going to be using a couple stamp sets. Cheerful Daisies. It's a photopolymer set. It's this set with all the cute daisies and sentiments. Okay, and then Very Best Occasions. This is a very, very cute set, and this is a red rubber set. You can use both of these with your Stamparatus if you so desire. The only thing you can't use with the Stamparatus is your wood stamps. If you still have wood stamps, you won't be able to use those with the Stamparatus. Anyway, Very Best Occasions. This has got 12 stamps in it, and it is so diverse. Christmas stamps, birthday, thinking of you, endlessly grateful, with comfort and love. This stamp set, it covers everything. So if you are considering a sentiment set, this might be the stamp set for you. Okay? And I love red rubber. I'm just saying. I love photopolymer too, but red rubber, they stamp so nicely. So what I'm going to do today is I am going to do some heat embossing. So you need a heat tool and a Versamark pad. We sell our powders in threes now. So we sell the metallics and then the basics. So you can't just buy white. You have to buy, if you buy the basics, you get black, white, and clear, I think. And if you buy the metallics, you get silver, gold, and copper. So today I'm going to use copper and embossing powder. So let's get started. I'm going to be using some designer series paper called Stargazing. That's in the annual catalog. I'm just going to use a small piece of that. I'm going to use a die. So I'm excited to make this card. I hope you like it. All right, so see here, sorry, I think I'm wiggling. Here's the Versamark pad, you need that. And then I am going to use my crushed curry. I'm just going to do that as a little edging. So, okay, so here's what I did. I mounted my clear stamps on my plate. Okay, and the reason I have this down here on the hinge is because they came off of the plate. I wanted them to come off the cardstock. So I did lower, you can do that with the Stamparatus, right? You can move the hinging. So I did put that on here. Now, I am going to do some different things with this, so hopefully this works out. We'll see. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I am going to put a little embossing buddy on here, just lightly. You don't have to, right? But I am going to put a little bit on there. And then I'm going to Versamark my stamps. Okay, I'm going to Versamark these a lot. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp them. And the cool thing about a Stamparatus is this: if you don't get a full image, obviously the cardstock didn't move because you got the magnet on there, you can just keep re-inking it until you get it the way you like it. Okay, so that's really sticky ink. Let's see how that looks. I think it looks pretty good. Okay, so I am going to, now I'm going to do something different. Before I heat it, and I need to do this pretty quickly, I'm going to flip this around, okay? And now I have to be careful because I don't want to put the magnet on top of what I just stamped, right? So I'm just going to leave the magnet off. Now I'm going to ink this up again. Okay, and do it again. Okay. There we go. And that's okay that it's stuck because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to heat it now. I'll add the embossing powder now. Okay, so what I want to do is, I want to look at it real quick. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to bring my copper powder over. I'm just going to use a coffee filter for ease. And I'm going to powder this. Okay, so when you do embossing powder, you just like cover it with powder. And look what happens. So nice. And you flick it off. And then you powder the other side. See? You want to get all that powder off that's not sticking to what you stamped. All right? So that's kind of what you want right there. All right? Now, if you want to do some more stamping, you can. And I think I am going to do a little bit more. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stamp in the centers. Okay, so I'm going to use my little stamp here. And I'm going to Versamark the center of these big stamps. Okay. Then I'm going to powder those. Well, you can't see me. I'm a little bit off screen, I know. It's okay. I'll show you in a second. Okay, so I powdered those. And now I'm going to use the smaller center. This stamp set is just so cute. It's got everything. So it has the smaller centers. Got a little powder on there. Don't really want to take that to my new pad, but I think I did. Okay, now I'm going to powder this again. Okay. Sorry that I'm off screen, but you'll get the idea here in a second. Okay, so it brings a little solids in. Okay, those little solid centers. Okay, so now I'm just going to heat this. I'm going to move my powder out of the way. Obviously, don't want to blow the heat tool into the powder. I'm going to close my Versamark, and I'm going to go ahead and heat this on number 2 because I want it nice and hot. Okay, so I'm going to let that heat for a second, warm up. I'm going to put that on there so I don't burn my fingers. And I'm going to heat this copper. And once you see how this looks, ooh, it's it's gorgeous. And it heats really quickly. You just hold it, you just hold this on your powder, okay? You don't need to do this. You just need to hold it right on the powder, maybe like a ½ inch above. And the reason is because it will melt, and then you can move on to the next item. If you're doing this, it takes forever. I find. I mean, you can do it how you want, but that's what I think it works. Okay. Looks good. All right. I love it. Okay. I'm going to let that cool. And in the meantime, I'm going to do my next step. So you probably noticed that I did not take the stamps off of my Stamparatus, right? I'm going to pour this powder back in to the little container because I'm going to use it again. Okay, so I did not take these off, but what I did in advance was I did cut out a piece of Stargazing Designer Series paper with my Nested Essentials dies. Okay, so here is the largest one of these. Okay, so you get 4 of them and they nest, right? So you get all these different sizes, but I'm going to use the big one only. So I did cut this out of this paper. So this is Stargazing paper. To be honest, guys, I am not a astronomer. I'm not that interested in, I guess I'm interested in stars, but not like my husband is. Like he goes outside all the time and, you know, has this app on his phone and he looks at stars and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Okay, give me some Stargazing paper. So anyway, I cut this out, okay? So now what I want to do is I want to put this into my Stamparatus, and I want to put it in the same location that I had my Very Vanilla cardstock. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to Versamark this up. Okay, and I'm going to stamp this down. Okay, lift it up. I'm going to take it and I am going to flip it. Okay, and now I'm not going to put the magnet back on, right? Because I don't want to mess up what I already had stamped in Versamark. So now I'm just going to ink this up one more time and stamp it. Okay, and now you're thinking, Trevis, that's strange because it doesn't, you know, it's not fully, all those images are not going fully onto that. Oh yes, it's going to be very cool. Okay, now I'm done with this, and now I'm just going to powder this with my copper powder. Silver. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and heat this now. I'm going to add those other little centers, but I'm going to heat this ahead of time. Move my powder out of the way. My heat tool, which is still warm. And now I'm going to heat this. This looks so pretty. This is pumpkin pie. Mostly, it's got a little crushed curry in it. Okay, but mostly it's pumpkin pie. And remember, this heat is very, very hot. If you don't have one of these little tools, then use a clothespin. Okay, and now I'm going to take my stamp again. Probably should have done it this way before because it would have kept from getting powder into my new pad. But guess what? I can clean that off. And the way you clean it, just going to tell you, is like with tape. I don't think I did this one. You just take tape, you know, Scotch tape, and go like that, and it'll pick up all the little crumbs. Okay, again, I'm going to go off screen. Sorry. Okay. And now I'm going to heat this. Ooh. I'm going to heat my pad. Ouch. Yeah, it's hot. Okay. All right. Now we're done. So we're done with the work. Now we get to do the fun part. So here's the fun part. Put your powder back into your jar and close it up. Keep it, kind of keep it out of the humidity if you can. It'll keep your powder nice and better. Okay. If you have old embossing powder, it doesn't heat that good. It's because it's old. Just saying. All right. So now I'm going to move all this stuff and I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to clean off any powder that was left behind. I probably got it on my black shirt. That's okay. Okay, let's see how this works. Now, what I want to do now is I want to add this to my card. So this piece I'm going to add. And the reason I kept it on the Stamparatus is this reason. So it lines up. See how it lines up? Now, another way you could do this, if you have a big background stamp, this works perfect for that, right? You can stamp it, and then you can stamp your colored cardstock or whatever, and you can stamp it again, and you can cut it out and make this, do this technique. All right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put some adhesive on here. And I am going to line this up the best I can. Make sure I did it the right way. I think this is it right here. That's it. How cool. So now can you see what happened? So now I have the card that has this panel in the center that's lined up. All right. Now what I want to do is I want to finish my card. And so I thought that Night of Navy would look nice behind here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach this to my Night of Navy. And it's just a tad bigger, so it's not a huge border. Okay. Now, oh, I have to do a little more. So I'm going to use Thinking of You for my sentiment. And so, Thinking of You, yes. All right. We only have one block, so I'm going to take these off. Put this on. Okay, so I have a little piece of Night of Navy. And now with dark cardstock, you definitely want to use Embossing Buddy. And the reason is because this powder will stick a little bit. You can probably see just little flecks of it. It doesn't show up so much on light cardstock, but on dark cardstock, it really shows up. So if you do it this way, use Embossing Buddy. Yes. Okay. Here, I thought I was done with the embossing powder. No. The copper looks so pretty. I know this is a little longer video. This is a cool technique. So copper embossing powder looks so cool on dark cardstock. Okay, so let's heat this up. Thinking of You. Okay, so I'm going to add this to my card. And I cut it the same width as this navy cardstock so it would fit nicely. Now I have to decide, do I want to pop that up? Ooh, that might look kind of cool. I think I will. So I'm going to use some old dimensionals here that I have. Don't throw those strips away, guys. Do not throw those edges away. Make sure you use them. Okay, so I'm just going to add this to the card. Okay, and now I have my crushed curry. And I'm going to fold this. This is 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to fold this. And I am going to put a little edge on here. I'm going to use crushed curry with my blending brush. And what I'm just doing here is darkening the edge and giving it a little interest. I'm not going all the way in. This is all going to get covered up anyway. Just the edge is going to show. But I think it looks so rich when you do this. Another idea you could do, if you're so inclined, you can just take this and dip it into your pad like that, and it gives you one little strip, like a little thin stripe. Okay, so now I'm just going to add this to my card. Light touch, see how it does that? Ugh, kills me. Light touch with this super seal. Wow. I love it. I hope you like it too. So I'm calling this my Embossed Panel Card. Remember, you could do this with any stamps, right? if you have a Stamparatus, it makes it super easy. Thanks for watching today. I'll see you on Friday. And also, I'm still excited because coming up in October is our Stamp Fest at the Opry. So if you're signed up for that, that's awesome. It's going to be a full day of fun. I'll have to talk to you if you're still interested about openings. So give me a holler if you're interested in that. My name's Trevis Bossler, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Louis, Missouri. Thanks for watching. Bye.